to be pants, but it's now a whole outfit, and it's lit. It's so lit. Like, it's so lit. Y'all gonna see the whole thing when I'm done, cause I'm gonna try it on and let y'all see it. If my camera don't die, if it do, then I'll just come back live later after I charge it and show y'all the finished results. But I have a migraine and I feel nauseous, and I'm almost certain it's because of my cycle is about to come soon, and I feel like crap. I for some reason lately I get sick when I have my cycle, and it's weird. Like, it's the weirdest thing ever. Like, I just be like, why am I sick? I was sick last month and now I'm sick again. I don't get sick like that. I don't get sick often. So it's really weird. Like, I get migraines around my cycle almost every month, but I don't get sick. So I don't know what's going on with that. I've tried to research and look it up and find out, but I ain't getting no information.
I'm confused.
You confused? I'm confused too.
I'm confused.
Me too. Y'all heard my baby talking. My baby be talking it up. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of my baby. She need to go to sleep though. She need to take her nap. Lay down and take a nap. Yeah, take a nap so y'all can see what I'm doing. I think this is gonna be so cute. Well, it's already so cute. I just had to make the legs longer because I already knew it was gonna be too short, but I tried it on already and it just had to be a little bit longer. So I'm finished with the other leg. I'm just finishing up the last leg now. And it'll be done. Well, actually, it might not be done because I might have to add one more part to it. But it is so cute. It actually turned out better than I expected. I actually thought I was going to have to do more to it, but it works. I may have to get a lining for the inside of the pants, clearly. But, we're going to find out. We're going to see. We're going to see. Muffy, can you stop repeating yourself, please? That's the one thing she does. She just go in a trance where she just keep repeating herself over and over again sometimes. I guess that's a part of her stemming. I don't know. I don't know. I'm still learning this whole autism thing. But she has progressed a whole lot, like crazy. It's like I'm so happy. She be singing whole songs and I just be sitting there listening to her smiling. And she be getting all the words on point, on right, the melody on point. Like, my baby can sing. She just got to learn how to. Girl, if you don't get your booty off of me, you supposed to be laying down. Why are you not laying down? She heard me talking and she think it's time to play. It's time to party. Muffy, take a nap. Like, YouTube be having some crazy stuff popping up on my in my phone for me to watch. And I just like right before I came up here to go live, like right when I opened back to my main screen to go live, you know the first thing that popped up on my screen talking about a real Brazilian scandal. Pastor, a pastor married her son. What and why? Not even why did she marry her son? Because I really don't even care. It's gross. It's disgusting. But why is this what y'all suggesting to me? I don't. Yeah. Like what? My mouth is watering just thinking about like what is wrong with people? What's going on with this world?
Uh,
What's going on? Oh, I got some news for y'all. So yeah, my group got their website back up and it's some new changes. Y'all gotta go check it out. Say hi. Girl, if you don't get off, this is what I deal with. Muffy, you supposed to be taking a nap. Muffy, you supposed to be taking a nap. Oh, you rubbing my head. You supposed to be taking a nap though. You play too much. I love you. Look, don't you try to put all your weight on my head now. I already got a migraine coming. And you're gonna do it anyway. I love you, my baby. This is my life. This is why she get up here because she want me to do this. Oh, and also I might have a buyer for this bus. I had somebody call me, even though the sign said text, but they called. And the conversation was a little confusing because I wasn't in a headspace to be answering the questions and stuff, which is why I said text. So I texted him back and told him to schedule to meet with me tomorrow so that we can work out a deal. So hopefully we get a good deal on that and we are able to move forward. I don't know if I already told y'all, but I was working on getting some land. And I actually worked out an amazing deal. I probably didn't tell y'all because I was being very careful and cautious of I so people don't realize these days for some reason that you have to be careful with even coming off as bragging too much and telling people too much about what you're doing business wise and what you have because you know people are strange and they rather be jealous than to figure out how to work together so that we can all mutually benefit. But yeah, I was working on getting some land and I actually worked out an amazing deal. That so much to the point that the seller is anxious the network that I'm doing everything for. I had to let him know to just, not even be stressed about me personally buying it because um I may or may not because it has to make sense and it has to be reasonable where I know for a fact that I can maintain my end of the deal um and on time and effectively because I don't like bad business. So he just told me to let him know um when things change. So I think he's still really like ain't hoping that buy it. Like I really think he really wants me to buy it, and it's crazy. Like it's blowing my mind. Like I can't believe that I made that deal and I have a seller for some land, anxious to sell to me, anxious to do business with me. And so, truthfully, if um well, I know I'm going to work out a deal with this guy for this bus. But I we're going to have to work out a deal where I can be able to do some other deals and get this land cuz yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it's about to be lit. It's been a lot going on in the past months that I was not posting, like 7 to 9 months that I was not posting because it's just been a lot going on and a lot of emotions, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of stress, a lot of craziness. And you know, some of that, a lot of that energy I didn't want to bring to you all. I didn't want to bring that energy to you guys. Like, the last thing I want to do is have my channel be supposed to be a motivational, uplifting channel, and it's just like every time you come up here, you're watching me coming off as toxic. And I'm not really as toxic as people could perceive because really I'm a very proactive person and I'm very solution oriented, but also I also realize that a lot of people don't understand me. So that becomes frustrating. And a lot of times when I'm talking, when it comes to business, I don't do a whole lot of talking. I just do. When it comes to me coming up with solutions, I just do. But sometimes people only get to hear or see when I'm venting, and they perceive that as to be all of what's going on because I'm a recluse. I stay to myself for the most part. So people don't get a chance to see what's really going on and what I'm really doing. Like, even when I'm upset or when I go through my emotions and stuff, I'm always still working on solutions. So, with that being said, a lot has gone on. Y'all probably saw the video. I still have it up where I was sitting in my car and I was like, basically, how did I get here? Type situation. Um, I think it was called I effed up. But yeah, I got scammed. I got scammed big time. And I didn't lose any money. I didn't get scammed. Like, I didn't send the person any money. I was working on getting the money, but I would not have sent it to them because I know for a fact I would have figured it out before I sent them that money. Like, the way I would have had to send them the money would have been made biggest red flag ever. Like, I know for a fact there would have been no way for me to send them the money without it being an alert, unless they had some people in the state. I'm gonna tell you what happened. So I haven't went back and looked back at my videos. It's been like 7 to 9 months, but um, and y'all know how my memory is. But I don't know if y'all I had was discussing it with y'all or not, that I was working on getting into real estate when I was in my house. The next step was to get into real estate and to no longer be owning, I mean, no longer be renting from anybody, but to be the landlord, to be the rentor, and to own my own home. So what I was doing was looking up information that's all over YouTube, all over the internet. It's like the information is free and out there everywhere. So I've been learning about this stuff for years, and I've been seeing how to do what I was doing, but um I was never where I could see myself being in a position to do it. And at that point I finally was. So I was like, I even was speaking to my therapist about it, and she was like, she even encouraged me to try it, go for it, because I was nervous. I was like questioning if I should do it, and she was like, go for it. So I was like, okay, that was the push I needed. So I was like, my therapist is telling me to do it and so on and so forth. She actually told me to apply for a mortgage, But truth be told, I really didn't want to have a mortgage with the bank, honestly, because everything I was seeing was so many ways that you can do it without having a mortgage with the bank, and so many ways you can do it without having any money coming out of your pocket. So what I did, I was looking for a hard money lender. And what was happening next door to my house was the house next door had got sold and torn down. So the guy who bought the house and was tearing the house down to rebuild it, he was an investor from out of town. So I had already been speaking with him, and we speak in passing and have conversations. I kind of like told him a little bit that I was looking into get into real estate and ask him questions and stuff and so on and so forth, just to pick his brain and so on and so forth. So I told him that I was looking for a hard money lender, and he told me he had some connections or whatever, but the questions he was asking me, we weren't 100% sure that we would find the one that would fit me. So I was asking him, would he be interested in being a lender and so on and so forth. And I think I forgot the details about what was asked, but he basically said that he didn't feel like he could personally do it because he was dealing with the house. He kept getting he was from out of state, but so I guess he didn't understand the regulations here in the area, and he was basically getting fined for over and over again for certain stuff that was going on with the house. So he personally couldn't do it because he was having to go back to his truck driving job to compensate for all of the fines that he kept getting. And then the weather would happen, and then like as they was tearing the house down, a part of the house that was still standing ended up falling down with the wind. And it was just crazy. So like personally, honestly, he really didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know what he was doing because it got to a point where I was looking at the house, and I already knew he didn't know what he was doing. So that when the structure fell, my dad had already seen it, and he had already predicted that it was going to fall. And he was like, that's why he's going to get a fine. Like my dad predicted he was going to get fined before he got fined, because he said what can happen is some kid in the neighborhood could be walking past, or even one of the workers could be there working, and that structure could fall and fall on them. And that's definitely absolutely not acceptable. So they didn't know what they were doing. But I felt like since he had already been in the real estate business, doing the real estate thing, this wasn't he said that this wasn't his first property that he was working on. So, and he's a truck driver. He has money. He had connections to get money in order for him to even get this investment. So I'm like, okay, well, if you do the investment with me, I'll do all the work, and you just get paid your money back and whatever extra on top of that. But I get all the work done. You don't even have to do anything. But put the money up. So he was like he would do it, but he just couldn't at the time because of all the fines that was happening. It was just too much going on, too much that he wasn't prepared for. So I went out and started looking for a money lender myself, and I found one. Now that I've said, I think I have told y'all this story, but I found one, or so I thought. And so um I was speaking with the guy, I was talking to him, and I was basically trying to see how much should I ask for. So I was asking him what amounts do they normally lend out, and he was asking me how much did I want to borrow, and I was like, well, I don't know. I need to know hypothetically what's the most that you can lend out, because I'm looking to get into multi-unit properties. And so he was like, well, how much do you want? So since he wouldn't give me a direct answer, I said, hypothetically, if I was asking for 1 million, would you be able to do that? He took that hypothetical as a literal. So he gave me the quote for the 1 million. I was like, okay, cool. And he told me how much it would cost per month, how much would need to be put down as the earnest money deposit, and so on and so forth. And I'm looking at, okay, if I use that and I get multi-unit property, or even at that price, because I had already been looking at properties and looking at how much they asked, even the asking price was. I'm like, I could get two or three multi-unit properties with that. So if I get that, and then I do the math on the rent that's going to be coming in guaranteed every month, because some of the places I was looking at was already rented and was already making good income. And then if I go and do the updates that I want to and do so on and so forth, I could increase the rent. And then this is also before, this was right around the time that rent prices was increasing. So a lot of the places that I was looking at already had tenants that would have been long-term tenants. It had a place available where I could be in there that was vacant and ready for me. And it also included that a tenant or two had already gotten a rent increase, and the other tenants, their rent could, and it gave the quote of how much it could rent for versus what it was being rented for. So it was already like already mapped out and planned out. So I'm doing the math, and I'm like, hell yeah, I could do that. So I was like, all right, bet. So what he did, he sent me the contract, and I read over the contract, and I had my agent look over the contract because my agent said he had been in business for 20, 30 years. And so I was like, you would be more familiar with what the contract's supposed to look like, what it should say in there, what wording should be in there, and so on and so forth. Way more familiar than me because I've never done this before. So I had him look it over to verify that it was legit because I didn't want it to be some BS. And he told me that he thought it looked legit. So his words were, if it was me, I would sign it. If it was me, I would go ahead and sign it. So I was like, cool. But I also had my therapist look it over because she's older than me. She, as far as I know, is a homeowner, and so on and so forth. So she would be familiar with something, at least something along the lines of real estate contract and so on and so forth. So she was like, it looked legit to her. I had spoken to this guy on the phone. I had his social media and the picture of what was supposed to be him. He only had a couple of pictures up that I had seen. He didn't have many pictures um of himself. He had pictures of like other stuff, but he only had like a few pictures of what I thought him was himself, surrounded by a bunch of other pictures and stuff. So I didn't I had not scrolled all the way down to the bottom of his pictures yet. So um I signed the contract. I had my agent email it to him and then email it to me. And so we had a deal. So I was supposed to have came up with $4,000 as an earnest money deposit. So I was figuring that out on where I was going to get this $4,000 from. So I was looking for, how am I going to come up with this money? And so in the meantime, I put my 30-day notice in because I'm like, we already got the contract signed. Like, the deal is already on paper. It's already signed. So we already have the deal. All I literally have to do is send him this money, and then he's going to send me the $1 million for the to get the property, and then we go from there, and so on and so forth. So I'm just like, okay, cool. So I put my 30-day notice in. I'm already looking at properties and so on and so forth because figure if I already have properties lined up, it'll be easier to get somebody to get in on a deal with me to put up the 4,000 on these properties, and then we could work out a deal that way. But they already had they it would be easier if they can see what it is that we're investing in. So I'm looking at properties and stuff, and I had already put my 30-day notice in. I started having crazy problems with my landlord all of a sudden, and so that can be another story time if y'all want to hear it. Um, but they already found tenants that they were ready to move in and so on and so forth by the time it was time for me to move out, which was cool because I was ready to go at this point. So last minute come and my therapist goes, please look into it more. Now I don't know why. I still to this day don't know why she all of a sudden was like, please look into it more, and with so much passion and aggression when she looked at the contract and told me she felt like it was legit and so on and so forth. And all of a sudden she's now like begging me to look into it more, like just check into it a little bit more. So what I did, I called the office number that was on the person's website, because when I first came across this guy, of course I looked up the website, um and where it was at and so on and so forth, but I didn't actually Google map the address. I looked and saw that it had an address which was supposed to be out of Florida. And I googled the company and it came up with the actual website and so on and so forth. So I'm like, okay, they seem legit. So what I did, I finally called the office number and nobody answered. It didn't act like it wasn't a number at all. It was somebody's number. Nobody answered. And so I googled the address. I googled address. I don't know what I was looking to do with it once I found out where exactly it was at. But when I googled it, it was like the address was non-existent. Like that street name, that number and that street name didn't make an address. It was weird. It was taking me to some type of building somewhere that was not what their company was, and it was not that actual address. It was weird. So that's when I knew, okay, he just played me. And now I already got my 30-day notice in, and now I don't know what I want to do, because I literally been devoting my time to looking for a property so that I could go ahead and invest in these property and have stable, um guaranteed income coming in every month, without having to use my energy and without having my money stop whenever I'm sick or whenever my baby has her episodes. So now I don't have any other income coming in because my time has been devoted to this. And I have my 30-day notice in. So then I had to move out. And then a situation happened with my dad, which that can be another story time if y'all want to hear it, because it's just a lot of craziness with my family. And so that situation happened. I end up eventually leaving my baby with my mom for a little bit, because I was sleeping in my car. And I had swore up and down ever since I had my house that I was never going to be in that position again. I was never going to be homeless. I was in a better position actually this time because I had a car, whereas before I didn't have a car. But the fact that I was homeless was like blowing me. It was really messing me up. And then my gallbladder had started acting up really bad again, and I was in so much pain. And I was in my car. I couldn't lay down. I couldn't get comfortable. I have metal in my spine, so it was just like so uncomfortable, and I was in so much pain, and I was like in and out of the hospital like every day or every other day for a while. And the doctors was basically telling me that if I didn't get this surgery, I was gonna die. But it was an outpatient surgery, so they wouldn't do the surgery without me having an address to go to recover at. And so y'all basically telling me that because I'm homeless, I have to just I just guess I'm gonna just die. So it was just a lot going on. But anyway, I turned that around within a few months. I went and picked up my baby. We were staying in a hotel, in and out of a hotel. And um I put my car up for sale. I had put a for sale sign in my car window, and people kept playing with me. And then I tried to go to CarMax and sell it, but they were acting like they were going to buy it. I didn't really want to take the deal because they were lowballing me, which is expected. Stop. But they were really lowballing me. But then eventually I was like, I could take it, and then I could get the hotel. Muffy, stop. Lay down. Lay down. I could take the money and get a hotel, and then I could, make moves from there. So what I ended up doing, I saw a bus for sale. It was a charter bus. And I was like, let me check and find out if I can find out how to get in contact with them and see how much they're asking for that bus. And I was just, going with the flow. I didn't really know if I was going to be able to get it or not. I just wanted to, see. So I was checking, and I did not find how to get in contact with the owner of that bus, but I did find this bus and a few other buses like this, which is a school bus, a regular school bus. So I made the offer. I said, would you be willing to barter? And the person who owned this particular bus said it depends on what we're bartering for. And I said, well, I have my car that I was already planning on selling. Would you be willing to trade for a car? It's a perfectly working car. It's a newer model than what the bus is. And there's nothing wrong with the car. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So he said, yeah. And so I went and checked out the bus. I had somebody who knew about buses to check the bus out, and he drove test drove my car and he liked it, and so we made the trade. So that was in September, the beginning of September. So I've been working on this bus since the beginning of September. When I bought this bus, none of this insulation was up, nothing was up. It was just bare metal. The floors were bare. The seats were already out except for one passenger seat, which is the seat that I have my daughter's car seat in. And it had some cabinets and a mini fridge. But other than that, it was just a bare metal frame of a bus that worked. It drove, but it was a bare metal frame. So I've installed like so much drywall in here. I still have the other drywall that's going to be needed to finish the drywalling of the exterior walls and ceiling. But then I came across another issue that apparently my heart problem is much worse than what I realized, because I cannot for the life of me, I thought it was just doing my hair. No, even holding my hands up over my head, the weight of even a small piece of drywall, and holding the power tool, like even putting this little bit of tape in this little section up here to try to prevent the condensation from falling on top of us when we're asleep. That was already, that like made me so tired and made my body hurt so bad. So it's like I cannot do this ceiling by myself. There is no way I can't do the ceiling at all. Like somebody else is gonna have to do the ceiling. And I got this bus expecting that if I wasn't able to get help, I would be able to do it myself because I know how to do all of this stuff. Everything except for electricity and plumbing. The installation was a headache, but I could do it. It's just annoying as crap. I don't like doing it, but I can do it. But I had no idea that I cannot handle holding my hands over my head even for a couple of seconds for anything. And so now I'm like, okay, at this point, it's not even worth it. So, like, it's not worth it for me. So I've been trying to sell this bus for a couple months now. And so round back round to the good news is that I finally decided to remake my sign and make it darker so people can actually see it, because I had a sign in the window, but the color of the marker that I bought was not what it was supposed to be. It was not given, and people, you literally cannot see it unless you're like right up on my bus. So I made a new sign where it's very plain as day for people to see. So finally, somebody called me, even though the sign said text. So, gratefully, this meeting will go great tomorrow and we'll have a deal. And I am excited for that. I'm not letting myself get too super excited, because I've learned my lesson about getting too extremely excited. Like how I was excited about that that lender and that real estate deal, like it's so sickening. I was so excited to the point that I was sick. I was going through so many emotions. It was crazy because it was huge. That would have been a huge deal, and I was so excited and so nervous. And like even this land situation, I'm not even letting myself get that excited about that. Like I'm not even letting myself be too pressed about that, because I learned my lesson from that situation last year. Because never again, never again. I will celebrate to the top of the moon when the deal is finalized and closed. And not even necessarily when it's finalized and closed, but when I know for a fact and guarantee that I can make it be an asset and not a mistake. So like I'll celebrate if the deal closes, but I'll celebrate even more when I know that it's legit, like maintaining itself. So that's what's been going on in all these months that I have not been posting, and so on and so forth, and what's been going on with me. And I'm still nowhere near finished with this pants leg. Well, I ain't gonna say nowhere near, but it's gonna take me a minute to finish this pants leg, and I know I have to charge my phone. Yeah, it's on 16%. So what I'm gonna do, since I just gave y'all a great story time, um, make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment down below, and share this video. Help with the algorithm and help me get monetized, because that would help tremendously with a lot of the things that's going on. Um, yeah, help balance my stress level out because it's been way too high. Um, But I'm gonna come back later and I'm gonna do another live and I'm gonna show you the end result of this outfit because I'm so proud of myself. Like my crocheting skills is lit. Like y'all don't understand. My grandma only taught me how to make blankets. My ex only taught me how to make hats. I've been making whole outfits and bags and pants and skirts and shirts and sweaters and all types of stuff. Like, bruh, I'm a beast. I'm a beast. Y'all should rock with me. Y'all should rock with me. Anybody who choose not to rock with me, y'all missing out. But anyway, my phone making noises now. Now it's on 15% and it's notifying me. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out. Make sure y'all be real supporters. Subscribe to my channel. Like my video. Comment below so that I can have something to talk about. You know, let me know what type of content you want to see. If you want to hear the story times that I said that I could give later, if y'all want to hear that, comment below and let me know. Share this video with other people so that we can get on the map and get this algorithm recognizing me and sharing my video to people because I feel like YouTube be playing me. I've been doing YouTube for way too long to have the numbers that I have and not be monetized. Like, for real. Like the fact that I be doing these lives and nobody be watching. It's okay though, cause I said that I was gonna do this 30-day challenge and we're gonna be consistent, and it's only day 3. So yeah, I got a feeling it's gonna turn around. Anyway, y'all have a beautiful day. Stay up, stay loved, and most definitely stay safe. Peace.